So hello everybody. This is part 2 of the video about the forms of the thoughts. And now, after we heard in part 1 how your thoughts are made up of the things you think about and your attitude towards the things. Now we will talk about how we can use this. What is all this useful for? What can we do with this? Now I want you to imagine that there's somebody coming to you and you want to give him or her a good feeling. Like you don't want to say anything, you just want to stand there, but you want to give a good vibration or a good mood, a good feeling to that person. Like I'm gonna try this. Try to use your whole body and just take a relaxed position that puts the other person in a good mood, in a experimental, even if there's nobody there. Just be like that. So, and then start to think about some topic, like how God is, how God could be, if he's like, if God is maybe like this or that, whatever. Like, it's just an example. Just go into the direction of thinking about something, a problem, whatever comes to mind, and think. You might think of God. Is he? Rather, do you imagine him or this being like this or like that, or does it exist? And you notice that the form of the body and the form of your thoughts change, and you're not this welcoming anymore from the moment before. Now go back to being welcoming, giving somebody a good feeling or a good vibration. Like, use your whole body and don't think of much, and just stand in a good vibration giving, welcoming way, like I try to do it. Do that. And then again, think about how God might be. Like this or like that. And then you notice that as soon as you use your thoughts for and put them to a certain logical matter, then your verbal thoughts start to go back and forth, and they've got nothing to do with the position that you had before when you try to be welcoming. Instead, you got the feeling of your thoughts going from one side to the other. And is it like that or is it like that? And your body goes with that. Like your body does not stand in a welcoming position anymore. Your thoughts go back and forth, and your body will follow. And that's not what you want. So that's what. One of the things that what we talked about before in part 1 of this video is one of the things that this points to is that you that what we said in so that's what it points to, is that you make just this, for example, do a welcoming movement, a welcoming posture, a posture that gives a good vibration or a good mood to somebody, is something different to thinking about things. Now, in part 1, I defined it as the things you think about, like in this case, how God might be, your attitude, if you're happy, excited, or sad, and those both together give you a form. So I said that because in this example we just had, if you try to have a welcoming form, a form that gives a good vibration, you think you do that with your body only. But you will use your whole thoughts to do this even better. So the form is in the body, but it does not stop here. And to use your thoughts and give them a form that fits together with the form of the body, and gives the other people a good mood. You've got the form of the thoughts, you got the form of the body, and you use your thought processes, the things you think about and the things and your attitude. They're both used, but in a non-verbal way. So that's what you notice when you just casually try to give somebody a good mood, and with your posture, and you stand in a way that it gives a good vibration to people, and you do that. Do it now, and hold it, and then you start thinking. Try to think about something. Is something like that? Do you like marmalade, orange marmalade more than strawberry marmalade, or is bread? Do you prefer bread over toast? And you notice that it's exactly that you had a form in your mind. You had a form according to the form of the body, the welcoming form. You had a form, and that is destroyed with thinking about bread and butter. It is destroyed. So what we want to achieve is, and also you could do the same experiment and be welcoming in a welcoming form, and then try to be angry, and you notice that the form, the welcoming form that you have, becomes disturbed. And what we want to achieve with really good meditation is to have a physical form and a form of the thoughts that makes you healthy, that makes your body work in a good way, that makes other people feel welcome, and a form that connects as good as possible to the higher things. So what this video and the first video and this video is about is that you understand where you search that form, and you search that form by understanding that it's similar to, if you try to have an overall welcoming form, that it's similar to to thinking about your body posture and your thought posture in that way, in that kind of non-verbal way, and in a way of mixing attitude, thoughts, and posture to a combination. Give somebody a good vibration with the way you stand. So you get a new understanding of how you use the whole possibilities that you have. And when you think, do I like marmalade, orange marmalade more than strawberry, or which is the best, or could one make marmalade of lemons maybe, then you will never achieve a form in this thinking of forms. You will not achieve a body posture and not a thought posture that is useful. So this thinking about things is standing on a lower level of your possibilities. The taking care of your whole form of the body form and of the thought form is a higher level. Is using the possibilities that you have on a higher level, and you will also notice that sometimes you think about the things like, do I prefer bread or toast, or is toast, how much should we, how long should we toast the bread, and would I prefer butter, or would I take a bread without butter? That you just throwing your thoughts from one side to the other, or moving them in any way. As I said, those are just images that I can work with. You have to find this out for yourself. But you should notice that you're throwing your thoughts back and forth, which gives you a massage feeling. It's like when you massage your arm, you put it back and forth. When you do a massage, that's just what you're doing. And that's what you're doing with your thoughts. So you are actually, on many occasions, you are not actually thinking if you like bread or butter more, or toast more. It could be an easy decision. You might say, bread or toast. Today it's toast, tomorrow it will be bread. I know that. That's not what you do. You sit there thinking, do I like this or do I like that? Actually, you are massaging your thoughts. You're throwing them back and forth as in order to relax them. And you notice that keeping a form of your body, a posture of your body, and keeping a posture of your thoughts, like I'm doing like that when I go like that, you see I'm keeping my attitude and the things I think of, and don't think of things, and don't have an attitude specifically, and use all these possibilities of my thought process to keep the form that I want. At the moment, I've practiced this a lot. I do meditation a lot, and this is something I do very often. As I said, you do not invent those forms. You find them accidentally. You are a nice person, as good as you can be, and you stay in the forms that are good, and suddenly you notice, well, wait, this is a form that works awesomely well, and then you hold that form, and you have a word with it, like, oh, it was just like, the word flower comes, just as a pure example, like the word flower comes to mind when I have this form. So you say, flower, I practiced the flower, flower, very good. Like, that's how you practice these forms with kick words, like words that trigger these trigger words. As soon as you find a good form, sometimes I wake up and I notice, I've been halfly dreaming, halfly meditating, and I've reached a very good form, and then I was in the dream, maybe I was like doing something, just as a pure example, maybe I was flying in the dream, and it's connected to flying, the whole form. Then I say, flying, I practice the flying form. And so you practice the forms and you keep them. You repeat the forms, like I do this for some hours, then maybe a whole day. Depends. Sometimes I write down the keywords. And sometimes I practice forms, good forms, over 3 days or a week. And then afterwards, you understand that, and afterwards it's easier to reach them again. And doing this over the years gives me the possibility to, when I want to have a form of a posture of my body that's good, and a form of my thoughts that is good, then I got a repertoire. I've got a library of forms that I can go for and use them, and that's what you also want to achieve. But the first step is to understand. That you use your whole thought process to create forms, and you understand that with this example, that you do not think about certain things, and that's where this kicks in. What I said, that it's sometimes a waste of time to think about things and ask yourself questions, and that you're actually not actually asking yourself the questions, but you want to calm down and relax from the more tiresome. It's tiresome to keep a good form. That's tiresome, and sometimes you want to come down from this, and then you relax and you go thinking about things, actually just massaging your thoughts. And then on other occasions, you want to influence with the verbal thinking. You want to influence your mood. Like, I need just as an example, I need adrenaline. I'm tired and my body knows that it needs adrenaline. Then I might go like, this guy was so aggressive to me. No matter if this is true or not, my mind starts to make this up, a verbalization in my head of how aggressive somebody has been, or how ugly some dress has been that I saw, or how much I dislike this or that, and through this verbalization in my mind, my body reacts with adrenaline. Well, this guy was really aggressive, or yes, and then I get aggressive. So sometimes sometimes you don't notice that you actually are trying to trigger physical body transmitters like adrenaline or dopamine in your mind. As I said, if you want to trigger dopamine, go into a relaxed state and try to be happy, like fake happiness, and you will have dopamine. If you want to have adrenaline, fake aggression, like, and you will get adrenaline. And sometimes we go. This other video I have that is called modes or something, was somewhere, where I talk about racism, how you only use racism to trigger stuff in yourself. You can watch that. But it's important to understand these mechanisms, these general mechanisms, that you use your verbal thought process to trigger adrenaline or dopamine, which you don't want. Trigger your adrenaline by saying without having it verbalized. It's important to understand that you need the adrenaline sometimes, and that it's necessary for you to give yourself certain moods. Or adrenaline can be triggered by putting yourself into a shock, like going like this. This will trigger adrenaline. Or if you want sleep stuff for sleeping, then you go like, "Ooh, I'm tired." And you go like this, and it will be triggered in your body. You have to understand that these things are related. That why you're doing this, what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing, why you're thinking, and that you're thinking to get body transmitters, sometimes verbally thinking, in order, without noticing that you're just looking for the transmitters in your body, adrenaline and whatnot. And it's important to understand that sometimes you're thinking about things to massage your thoughts, to relax from the process of keeping your whole thinking, your whole thought process, and using it, holding it, controlling it, and using it for an overall form. Create an overall form. Understand this thinking of forms, of your thoughts. Forms of your body work together with forms of your thoughts. You have an overall form that can give people a good mood, that can make people relax, that can make you put you in a good relationship with the physical surroundings, that can be good for your health. No verbal thinking at the moment. No mood in this sense. Just I'm using the whole thought process, triggering forms that I learned from understanding what an overall form is, and then from when I woke up with a good form, repeating the form with a trigger word, or when over the day you are nice as you can be, and then you notice that accidentally you suddenly notice that you come into good forms of the thought, good forms of the thoughts, good form of the body. I like good postures, and then you keep them. And if you got a certain feeling that could work as a trigger word, you repeat that word, stay in that form for an hour, as long as you got time, as long as you need it. and afterwards you will remember forms. You practiced forms, and you can repeat them. That's what this video is about. And that's what I meant at the beginning with, in part 1 of the video, when I said overall form of the thoughts. And why you have to understand that, what is meant by this, in order to live this and do this, because this is the higher form, the higher league, is the higher league of behavior, lies in controlling your overall form. That's what you do every time or every second. That's what you want to achieve, like being somebody who controls your overall form, instead of sitting around and thinking about things how they might be because you're just relaxing yourself, or you need the adrenaline, or for example, or stuff like that. So those are the basic factors. That's most of the time you do that. Because of that, of course, sometimes you need to think about things. If you got a mathematical problem, you need to use your brain in another way than with an overall form to figure the numbers out for the solution. That's not the problem. The problem is doing that without noticing that you're just avoiding the higher league of form building, and doing that without understanding that the real high league, the real thing that you need in your life and in your surroundings and with talking to people, is creating good forms. And then when you're used to create forms and you do that all the time, then you stop it and to solve a mathematical problem. But you need to be aware of how this all is. That's it for this video. I hope you liked it. And of course I hope you liked it. And I thank you for watching. And I wish you to have fun. And I say goodbye.